On this episode of Screen Geeks, we're going to talk about Lord of the Rings finally getting a 4K edition and Robert Kirkman's Invincible trailer dropping. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Screen Geeks. My name is Jay, and with me on this program and this journey is none other than 15 o'clock Shadow Ralph. How you doing, Ralph?
I'm doing all right. This is 1 week. This is 1 week of growth.
1 week of growth. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I need to get rid of the sideburns and make it all even. Like I've been so busy since the last time we talked.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been work, bed, work, bed, work, bed. So I feel kind of scruffy.
Yeah.
Quote.
And are you still doing the overnight shift thing or
no? I'm still furloughed.
Oh, you're still furloughed.
So
okay.
I'm still furloughed, so that's fine.
Okay.
And even when I go back, I'm going to be good to still record Thursdays because usually I wake up at about 4 p.m. So it gives me a couple hours to freshen up. I feel like I should have freshened up more today, but you're just gonna have to deal with it. It's been a busy week for me. Yesterday was a super busy day. A lot of stuff happened. I would say yesterday was an emotional roller coaster, but roller coasters go down. This was like all ups yesterday. Like it was all like smooth sailing, good stuff. So I don't need to get into personal stuff, but stuff with like work. So here's the deal. This is going to be quick.
Okay.
From 1996 to 2006, I worked at Disneyland.
Yep.
I left for 10 years. I came back in 2015 and am currently employed. So yesterday I found out that my 10 years has now attached to my 5 years. And so instead of being a 5-year guy, I'm a 15-year guy.
Oh, that's huge.
So that's really huge because not to get too inside baseball, but there, you've probably read the news about layoffs and stuff. Yeah. And some of this stuff concerning my department hinges on hire date. And so I was already okay.
Sure.
But my new hire date now is 2005 instead of 2015. So that is good news.
That's great news.
And then so here's another thing that it's the stupidest thing. So yesterday I got my car washed. I went to the car wash first time since I'm gonna say March because that's when my mom's birthday was. And that's when I got my car washed. On the passenger seat of the car was a gift card that had gone missing in March.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, cool. Because I got her because there's a restaurant that we like.
Sure.
It's a family like beloved restaurant here in Anaheim. And I got her a $50 gift card to it. And it disappeared. I searched top to tail my entire car, couldn't find it. And then here we are. So I ended up buying her another $50 gift card because the first one went missing. And I wrote it off. So now I have this $50 gift card, and it was sitting on my seat. The guys who did the vacuum,
they found it then. So the people that cleaned it found it.
Yeah, and left it on the seat for me.
Very cool. Very cool.
So
that's like
that was part of yesterday. Yeah, totally. And then also the project that I've been working on for my old with the Associated Films dropped yesterday as well. And so like all of this stuff happened like after 3 p.m. So I've just been on this like crazy sort of like energetic thing.
I did want to bring it up so we could at least look. We have to watch it. You go to his actual
Associated Films is going to tear you down. They're gonna kill the live stream if you show it.
Hold on, let me pull it up here just so people.
So for those of you who don't know, before I was on Dharmalars, which is a podcast I was in 2006, me and my friends did a bunch of short films, and we were called Associated Films. And during the quarantine, I'd come up with an idea to do a sequel to a movie that I did 17 years ago. It was there's a group of short films called The Pursuit. I did a version called Pursuit Kids. I took my same nephews and did a sequel to that called Pursuit Adults. So that's that.
It's this one? No, this one.
Yeah, it's that one. It's the 7th one. That's the most recent one.
But I love how you call it like P7, like a final Fast and the Furious or whatever. I love that.
Right. Yeah, we do. We've always kind of did a shorthand. I kind of wanted the title because the title I think is a funny joke to call it Pursuit Adults, because they used to be kids when the last time I shot this. But so I didn't want to put the joke as the title. That was it. Yeah.
Yep. Right there.
I didn't want to put the joke on the thing. The joke is the punchline to the new one. But yeah, this is the same location that you just saw on the other one.
Yep.
And that's my nephew Steven. And we did this when they were kids.
So cool. Check it out. YouTube. Is it youtube.com? Probably.
youtube.com/Associated Films, or you could just hit associatedfilms.com and that'll go the same place.
So a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Check that out.
So yesterday was a fun day. Today I got up and I helped Stevie deliver some stuff. I guess her work is currently in a employee appreciation week. And so we went out and I drove while she delivered bags to their front porch with goodies and stuff in it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I couldn't sleep last night because I was riding this wave of all this stuff, like 5 years of waiting to find out if I'd be able to combine my time. And then finally they have that off my shoulders, have the movie out there and show it to my friends, and then finding this gift card. But like I couldn't sleep last night, and then we went out and I helped her do that thing, and so I kind of I didn't clean up at all for the podcast tonight.
I think you look fantastic.
Yeah.
Go to the chat. I guess Richard missed last week. Whoa, wow. Got in a fight with a razor.
Go
week's episode.
Yeah, watch last week's. I literally shaved with the straight razor. Like I shaved right before we went on.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised I didn't show up with like little bits of tissue on my face. That's how soon after it was.
Oh man. 10 E23. How are you guys? We are doing well.
Doing good. A little tired, doing great though.
KJ Smith, sup peeps, sup KJ, good to see you.
Not much.
Oof, wow, 15 years. I mean, that's something. The longest I've ever been with a company, I was with Apple almost 5 years, Google 4 years.
And this is a combined time. So in between those two times, I was able to work at a couple of I worked at a retail store that sold comics and nerd statues and stuff. Yeah. And then I also worked at a web company where that's where I learned like social media and web design and all of this stuff. So I was able to, that 10 years was really key in forming the Darmlars and everything since then. And like VHS dude and stuff. So it's kind of nice that I'm able to still be able to honor that time I was there. And then for those of you who want to know, you know how Disneyland people can sign you into the park, right? I've mentioned it before. Like I get 16 times a year where I can let in 3 people into the park. Well, now that I've been there 15 years, I get a silver pass, and it's no longer 16 times a year. It's unlimited times a year. So it's like a big deal. Like 15 years is a big deal.
It is.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun stuff that comes along with that. So I'm glad that it all worked out. It got approved. It's been like the last 24 hours have been absolutely nuts. So
not only like the trailer dropped today, you're feeling invincible,
right? Like I can't think of his name.
But Disneyland has to be open. Thank you, producer Ryan. You're very correct.
That's 100% true.
But no, that's good. That's good. It's good there's some winning going on because my Padres haven't been winning all that much, but I got the Tatis jersey up in the back, hopefully to bring some luck today. It's do or die against the Doyers. And honestly, nobody likes the Dodgers. Really? I mean, nobody likes the Dodgers. I mean,
I'm kind of teamless right now.
Huh?
I'm kind of teamless right now.
I know, but like truly deep down, you're still an Angels fan, right? Because owners can come and go. They're still. Like,
I mean, listen. Here's the deal. I grew up a Dodgers fan. Mm-hmm. I was a Dodgers fan up until high school, and then I stopped watching baseball. And then after high school, and I met the Associated guys, I started getting into the Angels. As around '97.
Okay.
So there's like a 5-year gap where I wasn't watching baseball, but I grew up a Dodgers fan. I love Dodger Stadium. I love the team. I can't associate with the fans, the Dodger fans.
The Dodgers are my sworn enemy. And
yeah, well, just so you know, like the Angels historically have a winning record over the Dodgers,
as they should, right?
Like the lifetime, their lifetime matchup. The Angels are ahead of the Dodgers, so that's always good.
I will agree though. Dodger Stadium's beautiful, amazing ballpark. Like
right, yeah.
We drive up and watch Padre games there. Beautiful ballpark. But I really dig Angels Stadium though too, because it has a similar type of feel to at least just the way the structure is to my eyes. You can tell they're kind of made, at least since they took away all the Rams extensions and everything. I think it's got a similar kind of build as well, that kind of Art Deco, mid-century modern kind of feel. But Dodger Stadium's amazing. And honestly, the history of the Dodgers, like the Brooklyn Dodgers, all stuff is cool. But, as a San Diego fan, we hate everything LA. So that's just how it goes.
Right.
But Angels, I've always loved the Angels. I've always loved the Oakland A's. And of course, my Padres. It's just the Dodgers that are kind of the sworn in. But it's fun. It's fun to have rivals. Kirk Francis Hawkward. Kirk's doing. I haven't seen Kirk in a long time. I don't think he's been to Comic-Con in a while, but anywho, glad Pursuit Adults dropped. Great film. I watched it. It dropped yesterday, but I think I finally saw it today during my lunch. I watched it, but a lot of fun, and it's the first new thing for Associated Films in like 15 years.
15 years, something like that. Yeah, I think me and Ben did something during the Darmalars era that was. So it's probably been like more like 14 or 13 years.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a minute, so which is cool. Which is very cool. Anything else? I mean, I guess that's pretty stacked. That's a pretty stacked.
That was just yesterday.
I know.
Yeah. I still had to do like kaiju pod stuff, and there's been a bunch of there's new. All right, let's do a podcast with Kevin. That I also did yesterday. We recorded it the day before, but I edited and posted yesterday. He did a video version of it and edited it and added in like all kinds of stuff. So that also was part of yesterday. That was like I had that up by like 10. So it was a crazy day.
Unlimited access to the park. The family and I are coming to Cali. Tall man 80. You see to just go up to the Disneyland front gates and just knock like, I need to speak to Ralph. That's all you need. That works every time.
I'll be there till 7:30 in the morning. So you got to get there a little early.
Little early. But still, I mean, I guess is just Disneyland shut down till California opens up. Is that kind of what the deal is there?
I don't know. It's tough because even if California opens up, Disney's not just a destination for Californians.
I know.
So who knows? I don't know. I don't know.
It's weird. I don't think I've been to Disneyland since 2007, and I think you got us in then. It was Colleen and I,
or probably Ryan here,
or maybe Ryan did.
I wasn't working there at the time.
That's true. I think it was Ryan. You're 100% right. It was Ryan. But that was the last time we've been, and I have kids now, and
there's Star Wars.
I mean, there's everything. But to me, like even with all the Star Wars stuff, I care more about just the
safety.
Or not. Well, yeah, of course that. I'm saying whenever, hopefully this is all over and maybe things are safer and things are a little less crazy, we'll be able to make a family trip to Disneyland, because it was such a integral part to my childhood that I can't wait to share that with my kids. And we had plans to do a Disney World or something, which have, has been derailed. So it's adding even more anticipation to, whenever we can feel comfortable going into a park like that. Or even just like they've seen videos of the fireworks shows or Phantasmic or whatever, and it's just so weird in this post-COVID world. Like anything I watch now, any media that has people like sitting next to each other and stuff, I'm like, oh, it's so I just like it doesn't feel comfortable. Even if I'm just watching it doesn't feel comfortable. So like I don't know when that day will arrive where we'll feel comfortable being packed in with people. But apparently Los Angeles is going forward with their Comic-Con in December. That's the latest rumor. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I don't know. I've never been to Los Angeles Comic-Con.
Maybe it's usually pretty spaced out anyway, and it's not
maybe. Speaking of delays and stuff, we just found out on Friday that No Time to Die has been pushed to April. A little bit bummed about that.
I know.
A little bit bummed.
And Regal cinemas might close because of it.
Right.
I don't know are Regal cinemas prevalent in the LA Anaheim area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're around. But yeah, I don't know. Bums me out.
It is a bummer, especially for you, because I know, as a big Bond fan, is Bond number one on your Geek? No, it's Star Wars, then Bond, or Godzilla, then Bond?
Star Wars, Green Lantern, then Bond.
Okay, so third, which is still pretty high for you.
Then Godzilla. Yeah.
But well, at least you can be miserable that things are delayed, like me with Ghostbusters being delayed, and there's a chance in hell that we're going to get Ghostbusters Afterlife before March, or if it is going to be March, I think we push back to the summer. There's no way it's going to happen in March. I don't think.
Yeah.
They're saying hopefully the vaccine or whatever will be prevalent enough by summer of next year. So maybe then.
We'll see.
Fingers crossed. Ryan Moore says guidance for theme parks has not been released by the state. So yeah, I think that's good to know. And Tall Man 80, I'm an NC, so it might take us a minute. Yes, being an NC as well, the California flight is long, but not too bad. It's only like 6 hours. It's not that bad. If you get a direct flight, 5 hours.
Yeah.
Go to Bob Hope Airport, easy peasy. Yeah, so that's a bummer. The fact that Regal Cinemas is closing, hopefully just temporarily and not like time, because Regal is probably the most prevalent movie theater in at least the Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina area. We have a few AMCs, not like, at least from my experience growing up in Southern California, there's a ton of AMCs, but just only a couple AMCs. It's mostly Regal, and then we have a Cinemark that's right across the street from our house. That one, thankfully, is actually just opened up this past weekend, even though we haven't seen a movie there yet. And then Alamo Drafthouse, which we also have one of those, is doing a special kind of promotion where you can rent out a theater for yourself and your family and friends, starting at $150. So Colleen and I have been kind of, man, if we like stay out, a few of us, we all chip in for $150, we get a theater to ourselves. Could we do that? Because I want to see Tenet. I want to see it in a movie theater. They can play the movie, and it's just you in the movie theater.
I figure if you are able to do that with Ghostbusters Afterlife, it's a no-brainer. You guys are going to go see it.
But so you don't think Tenet is like, I need to go see it in theaters? No? Did you watch it already?
No, I haven't. But according to Kevin, who does All Right Does 2 podcast with me, not so much. He said he really didn't care for it. Really? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I can't speak of the movie, but
I'm trying. I don't think I've ever seen a Christopher Nolan movie that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Does he like Christopher Nolan movies?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know.
Well, let me see now, because now I need to see what's the Rotten Tomatoes on old ENET?
Rotten? Yeah. I don't know. I think if I would drop $150 to see No Time to Die, like I feel like that's what I would do.
It's got a 71.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would like to see it on a big screen, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The thing is, like, Colleen and I are such like movie fans, like going to the movie, and it's been so long. I mean, I guess it's not that long, but for when we would go to movies every single week almost, we miss it a lot. Oh man, The War with Grandpa's only getting 29%. Such a bummer.
I have no idea what that is.
If you haven't seen the trailer, it's like Robert De Niro is.
Oh no!
It looks like garbage, absolute garbage.
Okay, no, I'm good.
But yeah, no, it's an interesting time. It's an interesting time, and I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens there. All right, to some of the news of the week, we did have the trailer for a show that you've been talking about on Screen Geeks for a while now. You talked about it a bit. Wasn't this the Robert Kirkman one that you were talking about?
Yeah, this is Invincible. It's based on his comic book. It's about a teenager named Mark Grayson, whose father is Omni-Man, the most powerful superhero on Earth. And he gets hit with his superpowers kind of along the lines of during puberty. And so it's about him kind of like discovering his powers. It seems like it's a pretty basic premise, and I feel like it may be a premise you've seen before, where a kid gets superpowers and he's trying to figure it out. It also has to deal with his family and him, like, you know, his normal family life stuff, like Incredible
graphic. Like this thing, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a big deal. They put that in for the Invincible fans. I've mentioned it before. The book looks exactly like this cartoon.
It does.
So really does. If you're to look at panels from the comic, it literally, this is what the art style looks like. So they just brought the comic book to life. And so one thing with the comics is, even though it looks like a bright, fun, sort of Marvel-esque.
That's what I was thinking as I was watching. I was like, oh, that took a turn.
Yeah. It's incredibly violent. Like, they'll just be like splash pages of like a fist with like an eyeball floating and a piece of a jaw floating. Like this thing is gnarly. So they put that in there to say, like, okay, A, Invincible fans, don't worry, we didn't, like, you know, water it down. Yeah. And then B, hey, parents, don't think your kids should watch this.
Yes.
So, dude, okay, so I am.
So something I was saying about like the design, like honestly, it reminded me of kind of your art style a little bit, like the cricket. I don't know about if you saw that or not, but when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it kind of looks like Ralph's the Cricket. But
Corey Walker, who created the
people, but
Corey Walker, who created the book with Robert Kirkman, he's the artist. You know, set this very simple line art. Like, it's not very overly detailed. It looks like this. It's very simple designs, and there's some shading in the coloring. After I think it was 7 issues or 10 issues, Ryan Otley came on board and kind of made it even sharper, made it even like real, like bold lines and like real clean imagery. And the coloring has always been very, very vibrant. All the costumes are very, very colorful, and all the superheroes are very, very interesting. And what's fun is there's more than just Invincible. It's a whole universe of aliens and secret operatives and monsters, and there's mystical powers and scientific stuff. It's got everything, and every character has like a pun sort of name.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, you see an image of a girl turning into a monster.
Mm-hmm.
That's Monster Girl.
Okay.
But it's all like, dude, it's just, I mean, I am so excited about this show that I posted this trailer on my Instagram.
Yep.
And then got into a conversation with a friend who's been listening to like me since the days of Dharmalars, and who has gone on to be a podcaster. And I said, man, I don't know if I could wait till 2021, but in 2021, the Kaiju Pod will be over. So I did a mad scramble on the internet, and everybody could follow Invincipod.
Yes.
Instagram and Twitter. And I secured Invincipod.com. It just goes to the Twitter page, but we in 2021, I'm thinking this will be public. It won't be part of my Patreon, and I think the best course of action is just to do post episode recaps.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many episodes it's going to be.
Yeah.
But if it's a 10 episode season, we'll have 10 episodes until more episodes show up.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be nice, concise podcast. But dude, I love Invincible. If you get a chance, read the books. I can't recommend them any more.
Yeah.
They're just so much fun. For those of you, I've never got into the Walking Dead show. I watched the first season and that's it.
Yep.
But I read 11 trade paperbacks of the Walking Dead comic.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you've read Robert Kirkman's Walking Dead, anyone who's read it, you pretty much will just blast through them one after another, because he always ends on a cliffhanger. Yep. There's always some interesting storyline, and you're always wanting to know where things go. That's the same with Invincible. Invincible is like the quickest page turner.
Yeah.
During the quarantine, I think I had something like 20 issues left to read, because they're done with the series. The comic book series is done. They've completed it.
Yeah.
I had 20 issues of the series to read, and I did it in 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you just plow through. I was reading 8 a night. So that doesn't make any sense. But I was getting to the end of it, and I was reading 8 a night.
Yeah.
Just boom, boom, boom. They're the easiest read, and they're a ton of fun. They're real gory, but it's all over the top, crazy stuff. And it kind of, the way it works is it feels like you raise the stakes, because there's been issues, and I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, where Mark, the main character, will get ripped from the neck down to the crotch in half.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the ending of an issue. He would get physically ripped in half by an alien. Mm-hmm. And in the next issue, he'll be on a hospital bed, with bandages, kind of sewing him back together, and he's able to regenerate. So it's a
kind of a Wolverine kind of regeneration power or whatever.
He's kind of got more. He's got flight, strength, speed, and a regenerating power. Mm-hmm. So he's more like Superman. He doesn't have laser eyes or anything like that.
Yeah.
But he's just tough as nails. But the people he's going against are also tough as nails.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Things gonna happen. I mean, it's a ton of fun. Steven Yeun is playing Mark from The Walking Dead. I think that's his name. J. Jonah Jameson. J.K. Simmons is playing his dad, Nolan, who's Omni-Man. Seth Rogen is in it. They just announced Michael Dorn is playing Battle Beast, which is a giant space lion with a braided mane. He's like a big white lion.
Yeah.
From space. Dude, it's so much fun. Kirk just put in the chat. He says it's my favorite comic book. Strong recommend. I'm a huge fan of Madman, Green Lantern, but Invincible, easily top 5. Probably my number 3 favorite book.
Wow.
And the good thing is it's not part of this, like, I mean, it started in 2003, but it's not like picking up a Spider-Man. Like, where do you pick up Spider-Man?
Yeah.
It's been so long. And it's just one concise story. There's a couple of offshoots that have nothing to, you don't have to read them. Like, he may appear in other books, but if you read Invincible from number 1 to, like, I think it's 137 or something, 42, I forget. It's a kind of a weird number, but if you read all of them, you're good to go. Like, it's just that story. Threads get sprinkled in early on and come back later, like that kind of thing. So it's a ton of fun, man.
It looks like I got to read the books, because how many are in a collected trade paperback? Is it like,
I think it's 7 issues, and you could blast through that in probably like half hour.
Yeah,
like, you're gonna be like, if you get the trade paperbacks, you're gonna be like just blasting through them. You're seriously gonna be just blasting through them. It's so much fun, and you'll dig it because there's a lot of 80s references in the artwork. So when Mark's at school, if you look in the background, you might see guys who resemble Bill and Ted or Jane Silent Bob.
Yeah.
So check it out. I mean, dude, it's so much fun. I think Mark Hamill's in the show, if I'm not mistaken. He plays the guy who creates all the outfits for the superheroes. So there's like a kind of a cool sort of John Wick underground sort of alternate reality vibe to it.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
Like, you get to see like the inner circle to do. I mean, listen, I don't know how many episodes there's going to be, but if it's anything like the comic, which it looks like it is, watch Invincible. I can't recommend the book enough. If you don't want to read the book, watch the show.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, for me, my favorite like modern comic book of all time is Saga. And it does have me curious. I'll be curious to see how this one pans out, because one of the things the creators of Saga basically kind of set out to make a comic book that could never be turned into it'd be too crazy to make it into a TV show or a movie. And I wonder, go ahead.
Implement this animation over to Saga, where you can do almost a 1-for-1 translation of the character design. Like this, like if you flip through the pages of Invincible, it literally looks like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is pretty cool, which is like being able to capture the essence of a book like that is kind of cool. I think it's a neat, like, have we had anything in media that kind of did that for a comic book? Where we've had animated comic book series, but where the animated show like looks like the pages of the book.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
I can't think of anything. The closest thing I can think of is the live action Sin City movies, where they do like shot for shot sort of remakes of the comics. But I mean, this animation, it's like a 1-to-1 ratio. Like, it's
cool.
It's the book. Yeah, I can't wait. I love the book. I might even start, I think, for the podcast. I'll watch the episode to read the book that corresponds with it.
Yeah.
It's such an easy read. The characters are so likable. The names are so fun. There's a girl named Kate who can multiply herself, and her name is Duplicate. Fun. It's fun.
I love that.
There's a character in the book called The Immortal. And I don't want to give anything away, but The Immortal makes me so happy. You got to read the book. But it's Kirkman just plays with, like, it's almost like Kirkman played with every kind of superhero sort of concept that he's ever wanted to do in this.
Yeah.
So you'll get really cool characters, and he'll like twist them a little bit. So if you have someone who can, multiply themselves into a bunch of different versions of them, well, how does that mess with you emotionally?
Yeah.
What does that make your personality like?
Yeah.
And there's like, I'm trying to remember, because she came on really early in the series, but where the person that she was in love with, I think she was dating the Immortal, would send number 2 to be with him instead of number 1.
Oh wow!
And so you're like, oh, okay. Well, I guess you're not really that serious if you're sending number 2. Like it's stuff like that where it's like, but it's not heavy. It's all done for fun. And so what like you see Watchmen, and Watchmen likes to turn comic books on its head. Just played a different way. But this does the same thing, but it's more lighthearted and fun. And there's just gore for just because.
Yeah.
It's
there's something to, I never read The Boys, the comic book, but Molly and I have been watching the show. It's season 2 is streaming right now.
I need to watch that
on Amazon Prime, and it's great. It's a great show, but it's a very gory take on comic book characters,
right?
And it is a bit more like, I feel like Watchmen is the most nihilistic, but The Boys has a very it doesn't ever make me feel good watching it. It's like that was a enjoyable story, like I'm engaged in the story, but at no point I'm like I feel great.
Yeah, the violence in Invincible, although striking and a little like jarring, it's never done to where you feel gross. It never feels, it's never too dark where you're just like, oh, this makes me feel uncomfortable. It's just, it's weirdly like sensationalized, like kind of, I don't know how to put it. It's just one of those things. It's like watching a kaiju movie. There's tons of violence, but you're along for the ride. It's hard to describe. I'm sure Kirk can back me up, but he doesn't have to. But you never feel like the violence is just like cringe inducing. It's just more of a, it's just one of those things where it's always fun where you turn the page and the next page is just red. It catches you off guard. But so I can't talk about it enough. I can't wait for it to come out in 2021.
Well, bookmark, what is it? You said Invincipod?
Yep.
Invincipod.com.
That's it.
You're going to have to do like a preview episode to get that feed up there, get it ready to go so people are downloading it.
Yeah, we'll be ready.
All right.
Like this all literally happened like an hour before we started recording.
It is true. Well, I mean, the trailer dropped today, right?
Yeah, and then like an hour later, I already had secured everything. I'm excited, dude. I'm excited.
Oh my god, that's great. I love it. All right. Well, that was big geeky news today. Some other maybe less like straight up geeky news, but it is something that I am also kind of excited about, even though I don't really buy physical media anymore.
Correct.
But you shared this that I do think is really cool. Lord of the Rings 4K Ultra HD box set.
Right.
Looks incredible.
So what's cool about this is the first time it's in 4K. I don't buy physical media either, but because it's, The Hobbit is a Warner Brothers property, and I believe Warner Brothers owns New Line as well. They'll just upgrade it on iTunes to 4K.
Yeah.
For free. The thing that's awesome about this set though is you have all 3 Lord of the Rings movies, all 3 Hobbit movies, both the theatrical and extended cuts of each.
Yeah.
Presented in 4K. Not only that, they've gone and taken the DVD extras, also bumped those up to 4K.
Wow.
Which is something you never see.
Yeah.
Anytime you get a Blu-ray and they put DVD extras from the DVDs onto the Blu-ray, it's always in an SD quality.
Yes.
It's never formatted correctly. It's always a square in the middle of your rectangle screen, and then there's the matting for the movie footage, so it's even smaller on your screen. It's just awful. So this one's great because they're doing all of this stuff. I'm hoping that when this comes out, not only do they'll obviously upgrade the iTunes digital version to 4K, but I'm hoping they bring those extras over. because those extras are already on the iTunes release.
Mm-hmm. They are.
So hopefully those get upgraded as well. I see Peter Jackson wanting that to happen. He's kind of a stickler when it comes to this stuff. He's a huge extra features guy.
Yeah.
He loves extra features. And what's just, I mean, it's so awesome because you don't have to do anything. Mm-hmm. It automatically gets upgraded. So if you guys are interested in having a 4K version of Lord of the Rings, what I would say is if you buy on iTunes or something, wait till it gets cheap, buy it, and then down the road it'll get upgraded. That's what happened when I got the James Bond. I got the James Bond movies at the time. It was right when Spectre came out. So it was 24 movies and it was $99 for all 24 movies, all loaded with extras. Yep. So I'm like, cool, I got it. And then like a month later, it was back up to like 150 and they bumped it up to 4K. Meanwhile, mine also bumped up to 4K.
Yeah.
So
and Disney just did a bunch of 4K upgrades as well.
That's true. Yeah, this week out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for years.
Yes.
And Disney finally released all their stuff in 4K, including Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, and Walt Disney Pictures.
Yeah.
Amazing. The first thing I did was put on Solo because #1 Solo fan. Looks fantastic. And then I put on the original Star Wars, which I haven't seen in 4K. Dude, it's got the extra added special edition scenes.
That's in 4K though?
I didn't watch them on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay, right. Sorry. Go ahead.
But man, it looks incredible. The original Star Wars. I don't care about the special edition stuff that's in there. But man, the 4K looks amazing. If they do a despecialized 4K version of Star Wars, I'd download a new version. Like if that's what Disney wants me to do. Jeez Louise, man. I looked at that. I looked at Moana. God, they all look incredible. Like all these movies, they've been in HD for the last 4 years or something, however long 4K's been around. And it's just like, dude, it looks so good. I'm so happy that that Disney finally came on board. And I think it has to do with their Mulan release on Tuesday. Or today.
Interesting.
Or whatever.
Yeah, it was this week. But no, that's a really good point because it's either that and also I think because they finally have Disney Plus, but for the longest time they were the holdout, like one of the lone holdouts on not upgrading their library to 4K. And which made it tough because Disney owns so much IP now. I mean, it's like 30% of the movies you'd want to watch, you couldn't get streaming in 4K, which was a big bummer because this is the first time that I am not upgrading my player to be the highest definition. Blu-ray is the last time I'm going to do that. And so it's been nice about also, buying digital if I do it or just having a streaming service that has it. If my Apple TV, that's 4K, like that's how I'm watching the content. I don't want to buy the same movie for the VHS, DVD, Blu-ray. I don't want to buy it for the fourth time. Like I'm so that's what is great about these digital upgrade versions or digital versions is, there's SD versions that I bought on iTunes 14 years ago that have upgraded to like 4K, which is great. Awesome.
Yeah. I think I got the movie Dread for like $4.99 SD.
And
then it upgraded to 4K, and I'm like,
all right.
Thanks. Like it looks great. It just looks fantastic. And I even like I went through like all of our Disney movies as soon as I found out, like at like 5:30 in the morning. I woke up, I went in there, and I started flipping through my purchases and looking at everything. Even Hocus Pocus has a 4K release.
The #1 movie.
Yeah. You follow. You're under the age bracket.
For what? For Hocus Pocus?
For Hocus Pocus. Like I'm too old. My wife loves it, and there's a year between me and her, and that's the cutoff. I think people who despise it and people who like it.
I'm indifferent to Hocus Pocus. Like it was around, but I never saw it in theaters. I know it was on TV. I watched it on TV. I was more of a Ernest Scared Stupid guy myself. That was one of my favorite kind of live action Halloween specials. I just remember that one because the solution to beat the ogre or whatever was milk, but the I think was I don't know. I haven't seen it in 25 years or whatever, but I just remember Ernest Scared Stupid was my not scary movie that I liked as a kid. Hocus Pocus, though, I didn't really watch it, even though
the only thing that the one thing I noticed that didn't have a 4K was Nightmare Before Christmas.
Really? Now that's interesting.
They just might not have done that 4K scan on it, but I think of any movie that would look great in 4K would be Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah.
For those that don't know, 4K really responds to blacks, like different shades of blacks. And Nightmare Before Christmas is like every shade of black you can imagine. I think it would just look phenomenal. So hopefully they're working on a 4K restoration either by Halloween or by Christmas. Hopefully, if not this year, next year. But I think that would look phenomenal in 4K.
I
really capture those textures.
And I think it's on 4K on Disney Plus, so I'm surprised that wasn't moved over. To be honest.
Oh, really?
I think
I'll have to look into it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of weird in this post Disney Plus world. You know, once Disney Plus was announced, I was like, I'm not buying any more Disney movies. I'm just going to wait till this thing comes out. And so far, at first I was hoping everything would be on there, but then pretty quickly I was like, oh wait, they don't have a lot of movies still. So it's like, well, I should buy them. I don't know. But anyway, Brian Moore says, meanwhile, my first season of The State is stuck in iPod resolution 320 by 280. Yeah, it is not everything. I will say.
Yeah.
For some reason, Ghostbusters never upgraded, so I had to buy, an HD version that then upgraded to 4K. But
yeah, it's on 4K now, I believe. On iTunes.
It is. Yeah. But it's weird because now I have a non-HD SD version of Ghostbusters. It's its own kind of tape box, like the green one. And then I have the 4K one, which is that blue covered one with Ghostbusters 2. And my son Alex loves watching it, but Colleen can't see. She's blind. So she'll just put on whatever, and she can't tell the difference. And I'll come home or I'll go upstairs something after work.
So what you do? And
I'll be just like, what version are you watching? What is this crap? And she's like,
that's iTunes?
Yeah. It's like, you did the SD version. This is garbage. Putting on the 4K.
This is Screen Geeks, so I'm going to help you out here. This is definitely screen related.
Okay.
Go to your desktop version of iTunes, go into your account, and you'll see purchases. You could go in and hide any purchase you've made. So if let's say you purchased the stand-up special from a comedian who turns out to be a total grosso now, you can go in there, hide that purchase so you don't have to look at them.
Well, that's helpful.
So go in, look for that copy of Ghostbusters. You can hide that purchase. It won't delete your purchase. You'll be able to recover it at any time. You just won't see it in any of your other, like, you won't see it on your iPhone and you won't see it in your library on your Apple TV and stuff. But you can go in and hide anything. For the longest time, speaking of motion comics, I had an Invincible motion comic that I got from Comic-Con, a free card, and a Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And they're always sitting there in our TV shows, and they're like a 5-minute or a 3-minute clip of something, it was like almost a trailer, but it always showed up in my library.
Yeah, see, I have an SD Dark Knight and a 4K Dark Knight.
Yeah, if you go up to your iTunes, if you open the iTunes store and go into your account, you'll be able to hide those. So those they won't be there.
Not iTunes anymore. Now it's this TV thing. It because iTunes doesn't exist. They shut down iTunes. It's music, TV.
Well, however you get to the shop where you can access your Apple account.
Okay.
It's in there.
All right. I'll have to look into that then. Okay, so it's account, and you can turn it off.
Somewhere in there. I'm sure if you just look it up, if you just look up hide purchases.
Because there's the 4K one. And then this is just the non 4K garbage.
Yeah.
Straight garbage.
Right. So go through and you just hide that stuff. You still have your purchase, and then you're good to go.
One of my favorite purchases I ever made on iTunes was the Harry Potter series. It was an error on one of their, movie sales or whatever. Instead of, it's supposed to be $59, but they put the whole thing out for $9.99, and I bought it. And
then they went and upgraded to 4K.
I know. Look at that. Oh, it's so nice. 4K. Anyways, let's see. Let's go back to the chats. Mariana's here. Sorry, I was watching Lower Decks twice. It was very cool and sad. Oak City Gamers in the house. That new one, Mariana's so good. What's Lower Decks? I don't even. What is that show?
It's a Star Trek animated comedy show.
What?
It's Star Trek. It's like a. I haven't watched it, but it's like the equivalent of like a Family Guy or something, like a comedy sitcom animated series that's on CBS All Access, but it's the Star Trek IP.
What? I have CBS All Access. I gotta watch that. I totally missed that. Oak City Gamer says, like Rick and Morty. That's
I believe, I think one of the creators of Rick and Morty may be a writer on it or something.
Real? How did I completely miss?
Could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. I am very, very not skilled in either of those two things.
There's 9 episodes. Lower Decks. All right. Well, I will go check that out. I am a bad geek.
Yeah.
Slap on that one. I apologize out there. Oak City Gamers, Lower Decks is good. Well, there you go.
I've heard.
To be honest, I've had CBS All Access, and I still haven't watched Picard or the other Star Trek or the Twilight Zone. Like I haven't gotten to it yet. I need to get to it. I know I need to get to it, but I haven't yet. So CBS, right. I'm sorry, I'm paying for this service, so you got that. But
they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
They got your money.
Exactly. It's totally better than Family Dad or Family Guy. Than
American
Dad. I like American Dad better. I really like that show. Mainly because that alien guy is really funny. I can't remember his name. Anywho, all right. Well, Ralph, we're coming up on the last 5, 6, 7 minutes of the show.
Right.
I do want to say rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen, legend of the rock and roll music world, music guitar playing, like just an insane guitar player that gone too soon. I think we've known for a while he's been sick, has had kind of throat cancer, was battling it for a while, but really bummed to see him pass yesterday. 2020, man, it just keeps getting better and better.
Speaking of music, friend of the show, I don't know, friend of mine, Michael Jacquino has a new album coming out on October 30th.
Yes.
Right.
You're in it, right? It's not like you said that you have a clip of you in it somewhere?
Yeah, I don't know in what capacity. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me, but I have been told I am on the album. So check it out. It sounds like a really cool thing. So imagine like a Martin Denny or Les Baxter sort of lounge sort of album.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but it's a concept album set in space with some narration in between the music. He put out one track and it sounds great. So check that out. The pre-order's already ready to go. I got my blue and orange vinyl.
Nice.
So I'm excited about that. But yeah, check it out. It's cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I think anything he does is good. He's just one of those kind of artists where it's gonna be good no matter how you shake it. So absolutely.
And he's moving beyond the constraints of having to do a score. Like when you do a score, it has to be within a certain, certain timing, certain beat, certain scene. It's got to follow a narrative. This is just music. It's just an album, so it doesn't. It's not really a score. So you get to hear his music, just sort of, kind of unleashed, with no constraints. So it's cool, man. I'm excited.
What was the name again?
I don't remember the name. It's it's a little bit weird. It's
we'll look at it. We'll find out together. Rob.
Yeah, look it up. It's on Mondo. It's on Mondo. So if you want to go to Mondo's site. But yeah, that's coming on October 30th, which is the same day as Mandalorian season 2. So it's going to be hard to get both of those fit in that day, but I'm incredibly excited. And if you don't want to get it on album, like as a vinyl, it's going to be available on CD and digital as well. So go to Mondo, go to the Mondo site.
All right, Mondo.
It should be one of the first things, and it's Mondo Music. There it is. It's the first thing. So there it is. You tell me what it's called.
Nouvelle Orchestra Travelogue Volume 1.
So you can't give me crap, right?
No.
Okay, good. You're like, what's it called? And I'm like, oh no. So that's the one I got. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it looks amazing. There's also a regular black vinyl as well, and like I said, digital and CD.
Yeah, you got a black and colored. It's in 180 grams, so it's a real nice vinyl. Real nice.
You want the 180 gram?
You want that 180 gram? We got that 180 gram for you. But no, it looks really cool, and we'll play just a snip.
Oh yeah, do it.
Not gonna lie, that is a pretty goddamn good sounding record right there.
Right? Right? He put out like 45 seconds, and I'm like, this is like something you would hear in the world of The Incredibles, but it's not.
Exactly.
It's less jazzy. It's like I don't know, but dude, I'm gonna try to get an early version. I might have to ask him. I'm like, dude, just send it to me, please.
When's the journey? We'll bring him on the show. He can take us track by track, inside or whatever.
Yeah, maybe. I'm excited, man. It's gonna be a trip. It's gonna be a trip. I highly recommend it. This is not an ad, by the way. This is just something that I'm like, ooh, everyone go buy this cool thing that's probably gonna be cool. Yeah, Kirk Francis got his copy, Travelogue Volume 1. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of hoping a lot of people respond to it and pick it up so we can do a Travelogue Volume 2.
Agreed.
But
agreed.
Yeah, Oak City Gamers is in here talking about the Orville. Dude, I love the Orville. If it wasn't like I said, I'm not a Star Trek guy, but I really got into the Orville, and now that's leading me into Star Trek. So that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Orville's fantastic. Have you watched the Orville?
No, I have not.
I highly recommend it. Incredibly highly recommend it. And it's Seth MacFarlane, but it's not even like toilet humor.
Yeah,
like Family Guy. Like the humor is just like there's actually probably only like maybe 10% of it is comedy. But the appealing thing for me is it's set up like Star Trek, but the people don't talk in all futuristic speak. They talk like you and I talk, like just they have conversations, normal conversations. So it's an easier thing to swallow when people are just talking to each other.
Yeah.
And using dialogue that you would hear now and using slang that you would hear now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so proper and not so militaristic, I guess.
Yeah.
The way that they speak on Star Trek, except for like the last 5 minutes where Spock and Bones and Kirk are like joking around.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like that the whole time.
Nice.
It's not just Captain here, do this. It's I can't recommend the Orville enough.
Okay.
Give it a shot.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to close it out. Oak City Gamer says real slick like the 70s disco orchestra. sound like some Sergio Mendes.
It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's good. I really like it. I'm gonna have to talk to him.
Oxy Gamer says, I don't like sushi. I love sushi. Love poke bowls, raw fish. Let's do it. I'm in. By the way, a nice cap. So they're appreciating your.
Oh my gosh!
Angels.
I grabbed the dirtiest hat. This hat has been out of rotation for a very long time. This is my run around do chores hat.
Oh man. 10E23 Tool wants to know, what's your favorite figure this time, Ralph? Favorite action figure?
My favorite action figure of all time?
No, just right now. What's your favorite?
Right now I've been picking up my friend Jorge, who does the Kaiju podcast with me, gave me this NECA Godzilla from King Kong vs. And I can't stop messing around with it. And he's got this fire breath that you just stick in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how cool is that?
Yep.
It's my newest toy, so it's the one. Yeah. It's the action figure I play with the most.
The NECA stuff is awesome because I have the Godzilla versus Mothra Godzilla, which is very similar. But same deal. You can put the attachment in his mouth, but I love the tail, how the tail articulates, right. And it's a really good figure. Have you seen the King Kong one though?
Yes.
It's so freaking cool. I love the King Kong. I absolutely love the King Kong.
Yeah, I need to get my hands on some. I don't have room for this stuff.
They're starting to show up, but I will say my favorite toy of right now is the Rey Mysterio Masters of the Universe.
Whoa, Stratos.
Yeah, he has like the Stratos. It's like a Stratos luchador.
That's cool.
Which is Rey Mysterio's gimmick in WWE.
That's cool.
But it's just, it reminds me of your Tonto Ted kind of figures where, they use the He-Man style, but they're just kind of knockoffs.
Right.
So it's just a really cool thing. Nice. On the current wave of Mattel Masters of the WWE Universe figure line. So this one
should Tonto Ted be my answer all the time?
I would think so, but have you done anything with Tonto Ted in a while?
No, and I've been to the Brady Bunch house twice, and I still forget to take him. Why would I not have a picture of him?
I should bring out Faux Fogan for that.
Right.
Faux Fogan, remember that? Anyways. I saw that was at my Target recently. Clone Commander Wolf at Grove Barton.
I know what my favorite figure is right now.
What?
Get ready to hit that button. I sure like that Hot Toys Kenner style Boba Fett.
I will.
You don't want it.
I may sell it.
Oh man,
I haven't gotten to it. I feel bad. Like it's just sitting there, and I haven't been able to get to it yet. I have like some.
But it looks so amazing.
It does. It does. But all right. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Screen Geeks. We will see you all next Thursday. And this Sunday, come hang out with us for Toy Geeks. We'll be talking about some of the latest toy news. Like I believe Super 7 unveiled their latest wave of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're going to talk about that. Mattel is releasing these really cool, like artsy versions of He-Man and Skeletor and Barbie and stuff like that. A lot of stuff to cover there in Toy Geeks this week at 9 o'clock. And also my 9 o'clock. And also the Hasbro Pulse San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Louis Tully set came in. So I filmed a lot of that already. And hopefully we'll have that review up either tomorrow night or Saturday night. So be on the lookout for that. All right. Well, that'll do it for this time. Hasta luego and goodbye.
Read Invincible.